Dungeon Escape. It's basically a escape the dungeon game. You have to use these books to lure guards, and I'm going to tell you right now, you can get through the entire game without even doing that. This is one of the ways you could do it. Just throw the book, and then you don't even have to use books, you can use objects. All of your steps are concealed. They won't hear you walking even if you're right behind them. You can open doors, they won't hear that. Every time you restart the game, the AI pattern will reset, and so you don't really have to. You can actually like speedrun this and beat it in about maybe 10-15 seconds. Yeah, so I escaped. That wasn't the door. I didn't want to show the actual route just so you could try it, but once you escape, you can unlock freedom mode, and you can just view the entire layout of the dungeon. I didn't even notice this guy until I unlocked freedom mode, and so I go in here and just mess around with him. So this is a fun game. I think this was one of the ones that you actually have to pay for, but it's just interesting to see how far they can take phone VR. Number 8, Dark Walls. This one is a good game based off the jump scares, I guess. I'm not really easy to scare. I usually just trust the game just so that I can scare myself. Once you start noticing audio cues and the way typically how a jump scare is set up, it's not going to be easy for anyone to scare you. So yeah, right here we're playing as a cop inside of a hospital. A lot of these VR games, they don't tell you what you are, but I'm going to tell you right now that this game in particular, it stumped me right here, where this "we can't breathe" puzzle part. It kept saying that there's something in the middle of the bed, and I thought they were talking about the teddy bear. And it's not until you look up that you see this wall graffiti, I guess. I don't know. But my point is, once you've gotten to this part of the game, from here on, it actually becomes the game. I believe this is some sort of a glitch, or maybe the developer didn't really think too hard on it. There wasn't really a way to understand that graffiti would appear right there. So yeah, this game is fun. It's got a lot of jump scares. If you're in the mood to creep yourself out, you should probably look at this one. I don't think this one is a paid one either. Number 7, Lost in the Kismet. Is that how you say it? I don't know. This is a escape the room type of game. I put it on the list because I like how simple the textures are on the graphics. It was really easy to pick up. The game is straight to the point. You look at something, it'll either zoom in on it, or it will pick whatever you're looking at up. So it's really easy to pick up. No instructions other than that needed. Once you get to this elevated level, this is where the game actually starts. That first part is kind of a tutorial. So once you're here, you can look through these windows. Later on, you'll have a bunch of items. I don't want to give too much away. You can see where that goes. Number 6, VR Raccoon. This game is just a little arcade nugget of fun. You just go around this kitchen. It reminds me a lot of like I Am Bread, or I don't know what it is. I guess it's the art style. But you go around this kitchen or house and you eat everything that you can find. So if you see like a donut or an orange or a pizza or whatever, you can use the Bluetooth controller on this one. I appreciate that. Number 5, Deep Space Battle VR. This game's really fun for 2 reasons. You can actually lead your targets as you're shooting at them. I mean, if you can spot them, they're kind of hard to see, but see, I'm shooting right at the reticle, but this game actually utilizes leading your targets, which I find that rare. You can switch to these smaller spaceships, and it's actually really funny because they just hammered me, completely destroyed me as soon as I switched to this. And not only that, but you can switch between a spaceship view, which is this, or the cockpit view, which I had earlier, where you just see the laser beams. This is where you can select your view, cockpit or spaceship, and up there you can select your ship. There's different styles, and you unlock them as you go further in the game. So this is cockpit view here. And see, there's the leading them. I have to actually aim in front of them or where they're going to actually take them down. This is like the Star Wolf Crew and Star Fox. They're just really fast, they're really sporadic in their movements. Up until this stage, they were actually really easy to gun down. Number 4, Wrong Voyage. This game is so eerie. The music is really creepy. Their transitions are creepy right there. There's one of them. But essentially, it just gives me the vibe of like Nier or like Ico. It's just like a really desolate world. And you're going through solving all these puzzles, trying not to fall off these platforms. Give you this little laser gun, and if you can see it and it looks like a circuit board, you can shoot it and it'll do something. So keep your eyes out for anything green or anything blue that's squarish and shoot at it, because for all you know, it could be the answers to your puzzle problem. This is great. I mean, some of this really gets the phobias going. I'm not scared of heights, but when you're in VR space and it's just like an endless pit of fog and mist, and just falling down to infinity doesn't feel good. Doesn't sit right in my stomach. This is where I messed up. I trusted the platform to just take me there and just stop long enough for me to cross it, and it didn't work. So far, there has been 3 areas, and I'm excited to see what else there is. Number 3. VR Fantasy. This game right here is what I love about, just cheap VR, essentially. This is cheap VR, isn't it? This game hits all the right notes. The movement is great. You can use Bluetooth controller on this, which if you don't have a peripheral like that, you can't trick your brain into thinking that you're actually in the space. I like to actually click something as I'm swinging a sword or an axe or shooting something, and this game does all that right. It doesn't give you enough speed. That's one key thing in VR. If you have too much speed, your body's gonna feel weird. VR Fantasy has everything down. The controls, the movement, the progression, everything in this game is balanced, and I urge you to go try this one out. Number 2. Drone 17. This I've probably put in almost 9 hours into. This is a game where you're just a drone trying to repel. I don't know who these guys are. They look like, honestly, to me, they look like if the US went and invaded some random planet, because what you see flying around here are these stealth bombers that look a little too much like US stealth bombers, and you see like these like F-12, whatever, like typical fighter jets for our Air Force, and then you see like these retrofitted battleships flying in the sky, which I do not suggest fighting those guys, especially not at an early level. But you can basically rank up, upgrade your weapons, upgrade your battle damage. You can get temporary upgrades as you're flying around. I love this power-up that allows you to call on the mothership to just one-shot whoever you're targeting. It just wipes them out, except for the battle cruisers, of course. They have way too much health. And then you could also get rapid-fire upgrades, double damage, quadruple damage, radar upgrades. The game is just so much fun. Number 1. House of Terror. House of Terror is another scary game. If you want to get scared, play this game. This game is an actual game. This one, you actually have to pay for the expansion, which I did. I was impressed with the first part of it, which is really just the first floor of the house in the basement. And once you unlock it, you get to go to all these different areas. You get more story. Not that I'm even paying attention to it. The game is honestly creepy. It's got a lot of good jump scares, but it also has good graphics. It has my number 1 phobia, arachnophobia, so screw that. I suggest you play this in a dark room, nobody else around to really get the senses going. This one also utilizes the Bluetooth controller. So that was my list of 9 games to check out for Cardboard VR. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Also, remember to let me know if you have any suggestions in the comments, questions about these games. Try this list, hopefully it changes your mind, and then after you try these, you will feel more confident in what you want to buy or what you want to see from these other VR companies.